everyone. Welcome back to Ask Amy. Wow, 1 week from today, I'm freaking out a little bit. 1 week from today, the Little School of Big Change opens. That is October 1st. So yeah, we're in that final stretch. So just a few things to let you know about before I get to today's question. One is that the school opens a week from today. So we won't have an Ask Amy next Monday because I'm going to be doing a webinar as I do on the day that the school opens. I'm actually doing 2 webinars next Monday, October 1st. One at 1 o'clock Eastern Time, which is this time, and another one in the evening at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. So if you want to sign up for those webinars, which I highly recommend, I'll be kind of walking through client stories and like everything I've seen from start to finish that helps people get a feel for what I point toward in these Ask Amy's, this bigger understanding that helps people find freedom from habits and anxiety and whatever they're up against. I'll be kind of treating that, as completely as I can in a 1-hour webinar. I'll also have Amanda there who works in the school. I think she's going to be able to join me for both of them. And she has found her own freedom from this understanding, and she helps me out in Little School of Big Change, kind of helping me out on the forum and things like that. So she'll be there, and I'm going to give away, important, give away a free spot, as I do every time, to someone, a free spot in the school to someone who is there live on each webinar. So if you haven't seen this before, it's a huge deal for my kids. They get to draw a name out of a hat, and we record it, and they love it. This is like their Christmas for them. So so that's all happening next Monday. So you can register for the webinar at dramyjohnson.com/change-webinar. Pretty sure that's right. Change-webinar. Yes. dramyjohnson.com/change-webinar. I'll put the link in the description for this. And again, that's next Monday, October 1st at 1 o'clock or 8 o'clock Eastern Time. And I'd love to see you there. If you haven't had a chance to check out my brand new video series, the Change That Sticks video series, video 1 came out last Thursday. Video 2 comes out tomorrow. And video 3 will come out later this week. So they're just being kind of released every few days. So you can check that out at changemasterclass.com if you haven't seen that yet. And if you have, let me know what you think, because I worked really hard on those. And I think it's an awesome series. It's, wherever you are with this understanding or just whatever's going on in your life, it's a great little way to just kind of see how this unpacks. It's similar to the webinar, to just these questions and little things here and there, blog posts you might read, and things that you see are wonderful. But what I'm really trying to do in that video series and what I'll do on the webinar is, as much as possible, again, in a short period of time, really kind of start from the beginning. Pretend like we know nothing. We're just human beings walking around, stumbling around on earth, doing the absolute best we can, but kind of painting a different picture, a picture of what it means to be human and where our issues come from and where freedom from our issues come from this totally different perspective, a totally different place than where we're used to looking, totally different from where everyone else is pointing us. So yeah, so I hope that you're finding a lot of value in whatever you've seen there and that you keep checking it out. So the question today that I have is kind of an interesting one. It's from Lisa, and Lisa and I had a bit of email back and forth. So what tends to happen if you've never sent in a question to Ask Amy is I tend to read it and I kind of can't help myself, so I'll often kind of say, thanks for sending this question. I'll address it when I can get to it, which is typically a few weeks from when it gets sent in. But then I usually give the person something because I don't know, I see something that might be helpful that they're not seeing and I can't help it. So I did that with Lisa. And then Lisa and I had quite a bit of email back and forth. So I'm going to kind of summarize a lot of our pre-conversation, and then I'll read a bit from what Lisa says. So Lisa's original question was that, or kind of how she set this up, is that she had a binge eating issue for a long time, and she had gotten over her binge eating issue, which is awesome, after she read my book. And she says that she she did some work with this, in her words. Like, she saw that, oh, there was nothing good about binge eating except that it helped soothe her emotions. She saw it as a self-soothing thing. And she started to get more comfortable with feeling her own emotions. So she got really good at kind of noticing where she would have these huge urges to binge eat, and then kind of notice, oh, I'm just trying to feel better. And, you know, I don't know, I'm putting words around it now, but however that played out in her mind, she read my book, watched some of these Ask Amy's, binge eating went away. And the way she says it, and this is important, the way she kind of framed it to me in our question is that she put those steps into place, and she kind of worked the method, and you know, saw some change, which is always a big thing in my mind when I hear that, because there isn't a method. So it's okay, because human brains will find a method even when there isn't one. And it's totally normal, totally fine. But that's important to see, that there isn't a method to this. There isn't like our mind will want to look at it and say, okay, well, what did that person do? Or what is she telling me to do? Or how do I act? Or how do I think? That's how our minds come to things. We're looking for that. And we just want to know that that's how our mind looks for things. But that's not actually, you know, what leads to freedom. It isn't like identifying the method. If it were that, I would just give you the method, right? We wouldn't have to like talk in code and have you try to figure it out. So there are no steps. There is no method. But it's okay that our mind sometimes looks for one, and sometimes even finds one, creates one in what it's hearing. So, yes, so Lisa had gotten over her binge eating by kind of seeing that she was just doing it to try to soothe her feelings, because she was uncomfortable with her feelings. Hi, Tanya. And that was by the wayside, and she was feeling really great about that. But then her question was, okay, but now I have this shopping thing. And in Lisa's mind, the shopping thing was totally different. So she said in our emails, this is a completely different thing. I'm trying to apply the binge eating method to shopping, but it's not working, because shopping is so different. Because shopping isn't about my emotions. Shopping is about, I want something, and then I just get obsessed with getting it, even when it puts my family in debt. Shopping isn't about my emotions. You know, shopping is this totally different thing where there is a benefit. With binge eating, there was no benefit. I hated it. I felt horrible the whole time. With shopping, there is a benefit. So I could see in our email conversations, Lisa's mind was really seeing shopping as something totally different. So she was staying a little bit stuck in that, because it just, you know, it looked different. So I'm going to read now part of what Lisa says. Remember, her issue at this point, sorry, I know this is kind of a different kind of question. I usually just read the question. But her issue is that she gets kind of obsessed with stuff she wants to buy that she really doesn't need and can't afford. So she says, with the shopping, I don't actually feel something unpleasant, and I don't self-soothe with new items. Instead, which is what happened with binge eating for her, instead, what happens is that I see someone up the street on TV in a shop window, or I see a friend with an item of clothing, and I think, OMG, that's so cute. Or OMG, I need it. Or OMG, I don't have that, and I could use it for whatever. Or I have an occasion that needs a new outfit. And then my mission is to find those clothes, and it goes beyond obsessed. Most often in that search, I end up finding other things that I need. She says that in quotes, that I quote unquote need. Sometimes I'm so sick of it, I literally avoid going out, as I don't want to see anything I like. I'm actually really good at self-soothing and dealing with unwanted feelings now. What I don't know how to deal with is not having the things I feel like I need. I'm very good at separating myself from my urges and thoughts when it comes to binge eating. But the problem is, when I don't buy the things that I want, it never goes away, because I never have that thing. The times I've managed to not give in to an urge to buy something, I literally think about that item years later. The torment is intense. So I'm totally stuck, because I'm not shopping as a result of dealing with unwanted feelings, although I end up with unwanted feelings after I see an item that I want but I don't buy. So Lisa's saying that her shopping issue, and I get it, it looks how it looks to us. When it's us and it's in our heads and it's, played out within us, we only see the parts that our mind kind of brings to life for us. We only see as much as our insight can allow us to see in that moment. So Lisa's saying, okay, I saw that I had all these horrible feelings and that's why I was binge eating and not feel those. But this shopping thing has nothing to do with unwanted feelings. I'm not buying because I have horrible feelings. And I say, yes, you are, Lisa. We all are. We all are, no matter what is going on, no matter what we're doing, that we say, I wish I didn't do this. I know better. I don't want to be doing this. This has me stuck, or this has me feeling like it's prisoner. We are always and only doing everything we're doing because we want to feel better. We want to feel more like ourselves. We want to feel better. People bring all kinds of thinking to that as well. I'm not saying like we need to feel like we have the nicest outfit on the block. You want to feel more like yourself. You want to get closer to home. That is literally why every single human being on the face of this earth does anything that they do. We're trying to just get back to home base, feel like ourselves again. And when you say, so I just want to point this out for you, Lisa, because I don't know if people listening can kind of see through this, but I get it. Again, when it's in your head, it's not clear. You say that I'm not shopping to soothe with feelings. Instead, what happens is I see someone on TV or on the street or whatever, I see an outfit and I think, oh my gosh, that's so cute, I need to have it. And then these thoughts torment me for years because I don't have the item. That's the feeling that you're shopping to soothe yourself from. So any of us, all the time, this probably happens, is we see something and, just to play out this example, we see something and we think, ooh, I want that. I'd be happy. Like, we don't think it in this way necessarily, but what it comes down to is I'd feel better. I'd be happier. I'd be more confident. I'd feel more like myself. I'd relax if I had that thing. Right there is your tip-off. That's all you need. Because by nature, we have everything we need, and stuff out there, I know it's so cliche, but it's just so damn true. Stuff out there does not make us feel anything. And I'm not against stuff out there. Get stuff out there if you like it and it's fun and you can afford it and that's what you want to do with your money. But it's never going to give you a feeling. Whether that stuff out there is food or outfits, or that stuff out there is stuff that we're doing, whether we're caught up in phobias or rituals or things that we do, or avoiding things, staying inside because we're afraid of the world sometimes. That feels like, oh, this is going to keep me safe. Like, what we're looking for is in us, and we're doing the absolute best we can. Okay, so let me say it this way. What we're looking for is us. It is who and what we are all the time. The only thing ever covering that up is a psychological experience. It's thought coming to life within us, in our own minds, and it brings in feelings and adrenaline and emotion and all kinds of stuff. But it's an inner psychological experience that comes to life within us that we confuse for reality. Because it is our reality in that moment, but we're like, oh, I'm in this and I have to get out of this. And the only thing we're not seeing in that moment is that experience isn't us. It's safe. We have all kinds of experience, and experience comes to life and washes away. Comes to life, washes away, over and over and over for the hopefully 100+ years that you're alive. It only works that one way. So you're getting caught up in a different kind of psychological experience brought to life than you were with binge eating. It felt different there. Yes, it did. It felt totally different, but it's exactly the same. And I bring up this question because I want everyone to see all habits are exactly the same in this way. Exactly the same. It is all, and anxiety and the things we do to keep our anxiety under control, all of that, exactly the same. We are well. We are home base. It's never gone. It's never lost. And we're always feeling this experience moving through us. And when we get into that experience and get caught up there, that's just what's brought to life. So that's just what we feel. That looks like reality in the moment. But when we can know something about this, when we can know that, no, I'm the background, I'm the piece, I'm the home base. The experience is just the experience. I don't need to buy something, eat something, drink something, check something in order to make that go away. That's a psychological experience, and it's safe and it's okay and it goes away on its own. And you know, I know these can just be words, but when we get a feel for this, a bigger and bigger feel for this, we start to relax into it. And then anything that we're doing to try to fix a feeling just starts to naturally fall by the wayside. And the way that looks is varied. Sometimes it's an instant, you know, thing that we see and we never do that thing again, and we never have a desire to do that thing again. More often than not, it's more gradual than that. We kind of see thought being revealed, you know, we see through it little by little, and then, oh, maybe I don't have to do this. And it still comes up, but it's less gripping. And we, you know, like, I don't know how it's going to go, because it goes however, you know, however it goes. It's all okay. It doesn't matter how it goes, but it's always about seeing that. It's always about having that bigger feeling, that sense that, no, I think I'm okay. And I think this experience that's just doing whatever the heck it's doing, making me see someone on TV like Lisa and say, I need that, I need that. This tormenting that you say happens for years sometimes if you don't go buy the thing you think you need, that torment is thought brought to life. And when we can start to see, oh, that's not me, that's a psychological experience that's going to come up, do her thing, and eventually go away, we start to feel safer in it, and there starts to be a lot of wiggle room in there, and we just aren't gripped by it in the same way. And that is the kind of freedom that is like foundation shifting, deep, inside out, doesn't go away quickly, doesn't go away. Now, Lisa, and I just want to point this out because you are not the only one at all in this situation. You had this binge eating habit, you saw something and it's gone, which is awesome. And then another habit comes up and takes its place. And that's what sometimes happens when we do kind of what you were saying in our email exchange, that, oh, well, I worked your method. I applied this process. Like when we're just top down, outside in with it, thinking, oh, I'm going to do this and then that'll go away, we get the kind of results that you're seeing. And I'm not, you know, blaming you or like, you know, saying anything bad about you, because again, this is like everyone. When we see it from what it is at this deep level, when we see, oh, I'm well, and anything coming up in me is just discomfort that isn't me, it's a psychological experience that's going to self-correct, then we see a lot of things fall away in one fell swoop, and not always, and not for life. I mean, we're human, so we're always getting tangled up in our own thoughts. But that's where we get away from this habit swapping kind of thing. Habit swapping is extremely common when we're using a Band-Aid, because the Band-Aid only works as long as the Band-Aid works, and we haven't seen anything deep enough. When we start seeing deep enough, it's not a Band-Aid anymore, and the habit swapping doesn't happen in the same way. So I hope this is helpful. I know this is a long one. Thank you guys for listening. Thanks for being here. Again, no Ask Amy next week, because you'll be hopefully joining me on the webinar, one of the two webinars next Monday at 1 o'clock or 8 o'clock Eastern. You pick the time that's better for you. You can sign up for that at dramyjohnson.com/change-webinar. And check out the video series if you haven't yet, changemasterclass.com. And I will see you on the webinar next week. Thank you.